Hi, Cowboy Ron here. Been trying to work on this editing, did pretty good, but I can't download it, so I'm gonna put it on my phone. See if we can get it to go here. There we go.
Hello, Cowboy Ron here. That's me doing some gun tricks in Frederick, Maryland. But today let's talk about Hopalone Cassie and who was Hopalone Cassie. Well, if you were a young kid like me in the 50s, you knew who Hopalone Cassie was. He was on television, and you became a Hopalone Cassidy ranger or a rider. Um, Hopalone Cassie was invented around 1909. And he became a movie star. Now, Hopalong Cassidy was played by Bill Boyd. And William Boyd was a movie actor from the silent screens, had a couple major roles. Then he did over 45 of these B-Western cowboy Hopalong Cassidy riders. He always had a good grin. He pretty well ran the bar, 20 Ranch. And his sidekick was Lucky, played by Rusty Hayden. And of course, he had one other sidekick. If you're going to be a cowboy catching outlaws and bank robbers, you can't do it unless you have Gabby Hayes and a good horse. Now, his horse was Topper, but white Arabian horse. We'll go a little bit more into Hopalong Cassidy, the movies. It was so famous that he had a club. You become a Hopalong Cassidy Ranger. And one of his sponsors was First Federal Bank at 11th and E Street, Northwest Washington, D.C. And what they would encourage kids to save. And once you had a little bank, a little statue of Hopalong Cassidy with a hat with a slit in the middle, but you could put money in there. When you filled it up, you went to the bank and you started working your way up from a tenderfoot to maybe a Wrangler and Orn Up and things like that. And Hoppy was like that. But the way this came about, let's see here. By the way, Hopalong Cassidy was written by Clarence Mofford. And the original movie was produced by United Artists. Most of the time was done by Harry Sherman. Now, Bill Boyd produced about 10 or 12 of them. And his name was William Lawrence Boyd, born in Ohio in 1895, and he died September 12, 1972. But he did over 40 some of these pictures, produced some of them himself. And he bought the series up for about $350,000. And he recognized where TVs were going to go. So he approached TVs. He could edit them down. A B movie was 60 minutes long. Took 12 minutes out, and that came out just right for the commercials, intro, and the sponsorship. And he made millions of dollars. He finally had to incorporate because the federal government was taking all of his money. Let's see. No good cowboy can get outlaws unless they have a good, strong horse. And his horse was white, one like the Lone Ranger. Name was Topper. That was an Arabian horse. I had one. They're very high-spirited, and I believe best owned by skilled riders. The horse was born in 1935 and died in 1959 at the age of 23 and was buried in Los Angeles Pet Cemetery. Well, there's one of the stories I heard about him. I read it in a small book. I I assume is true. He was a heavy drinker when he was a movie actor. And some kids came up to him one day and he said, beat it, you Wawa. And one of his coworkers says, Bill, those kids are paying our salary. And Bill Boyd, Hopalone Cassie, says, you're right. He changed his habit from drinking hard liquor to drinking occasionally wine. But again, those were the golden ages. You go see the movies with Hopalone Cassidy, maybe next week, Gene Autry, Roy Rogers, Red Ryder, Rex Allen. Anyway, I just wanted to share this with you. Cowboy Ron saying so long.